brown and gray and neatly combed over a chiseled face. But just like Mackenzie, Doyle had something preying on his mind, something he was straining to keep hidden from view. Matt dug his nicotine gum out of his pocket, pushed a piece through the foil, and placed it against his cheek. As the drug began to enter his bloodstream, he sat down with the others and asked the same question he'd asked Mackenzie over the phone. "What makes this one different, Lieutenant? Who's the girl? Who's dead?" Doyle and Mackenzie glanced at each other. Then the prosecutor slipped on a pair of eyeglasses, turned to Matt, and spoke in a quiet but steady voice. "Dr. Baylor's interests have changed over the past 6 weeks, Detective. You might say his methods have evolved. We believe that there are 2 possible reasons. The first being that he's trying to throw us off and avoid detection by changing gears." "And the second?" Matt asked. Doyle kept his eyes on him. "That his insanity is mutating at a ferocious pace." Matt had predicted it a few days before he was shot. The doctor's behavior was shark-like and required a rising body count. If he wanted to remain hidden, his methodology would have to change. "Who's the victim? Who's the girl?" Matt repeated, feeling even more anxious now. Doyle reached for a blue 3-ring binder in his briefcase, set it before Matt on the desk, and leafed through the pages until he found a crime scene photograph. "It's not a girl, Jones. It's a family. An entire family. Jim and Tammy Stratton, and their 2 daughters, Jennifer and Kaylee, 14 and 17 years old, and their son, Jim Jr., who is 13. They were well off. They lived in the suburbs outside Philadelphia, a town called Radnor on the main line." Matt could feel his chest tighten, his pulse quicken, the hot load of adrenaline bursting through his veins as he leaned over the photograph for a closer look. Could he handle it? Was he ready? The image had been shot with a wide-angle lens and included the entire crime scene. It was a large, open space, the image too dark and vast to offer much detail. Matt could see the husband propped against the wall with his 2 daughters on either side, all 3 stripped of their clothing and holding hands. On the floor before them, Tammy Stratton's nude body had been left on her back with her legs spread open and her naked son draped on top of her. It seemed clear that the killer had placed the boy on top of his mother after their deaths, and with purpose. Even in a wide shot like this one, Matt could see that their genitals were touching. But what struck Matt most about the photograph was the extraordinary amount of blood coating the bodies and flooding the entire crime scene. As he focused on Stratton and his 2 daughters, he noticed that the gunshot wounds to their chests were in roughly the same place, far enough away from the heart that it would have continued beating. In spite of the odd shape of the wounds, their placement seemed too deliberate and precise to be a coincidence. Matt's eyes drifted back to all the blood, and he wondered if this was intentional as well. The killer may not have wanted them to die from the actual gunshots. Instead, he may have wanted them to linger until they bled out. Why? Matt took a deep breath and exhaled. The nicotine gum wasn't working. When he looked up, he caught Mackenzie and Doyle measuring his reaction to the photograph. Any questions he might have had as to why either one of them seemed anxious were answered by a single image, a single picture, a single glimpse into Dr. Baylor's demented mind. "Only 6 weeks have passed," Matt said, "and this is a long way off from slashing a girl's face. What happened to this family is new territory. How do we know it's Baylor? What makes you so sure?" Doyle stood up and leaned against the filing cabinet. "The short answer is that he made a mistake on a night that had to be completely chaotic." "What's the mistake?" "A fingerprint. A dead match." "Where? What did Baylor touch?" "The girl's nipple. Kaylee, the 17-year-old. She was home from boarding school for the holidays. She arrived on the afternoon of her death." Matt sat back in his seat and chewed it over. In Baylor's 4 previous murders, his wrath had been directed at a parent of the victim, someone who appeared to be in good standing but had committed a crime or exhibited the will to commit a crime in order to gain personal wealth and power. Most of the doctor's targets, if not all, were narcissists driven by greed